Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video, and today's video is going to be a little bit different, and we're going to be doing a video about Dakota Kai. As you guys may know, you guys may follow me on Twitter, or if you guys follow me at all, you guys know that Dakota Kai is my favorite women's wrestler, and you guys know I'm a huge Dakota Kai fan, and I've been a Dakota Kai fan since all the way her days in Stardom. I loved her wrestling style. I've absolutely loved her personality, her attitude, and outside of WWE, she's a gamer, and she likes a lot of stuff that I like. Last of Us, wink, wink. But yeah, there's just a lot of reasons why Dakota Kai is my favorite wrestler, and why you know that connection of similarity stuff that we both like is one of the reasons why. But I know a lot of people hate on Dakota Kai because first of all, a lot of people in WWE just aren't used to all these people that are coming up through Triple H's system, which I call it the Triple H system because Triple H, it's the black and gold era, the Triple H and William Regal era. And yet people, and you got the Biancas and Beckys and Charlottes, you've got the Baileys of the world. You got all the people that are gonna get crowd reactions no matter what. But then Dakota Kai and EO and people like that, you have to work them up, and it's a road to get them to get crowd reactions. But for me, Dakota Kai is special in a multitude of ways. She uses her kicks a lot, which a lot of people can say, oh, she only has kicks as moves. So, what are you going to say to Brock Lesnar when he has 5 F5s, a Kimura lock, and suplexes? What are you going to, and what are you going to say to Roman Reigns when he has Superman punch, spears, and, etc.? And I'm not disrespecting those wrestlers. Actually, I like the move sets that those wrestlers have. It's just, keep that same energy for other wrestlers that you like. Dakota Kai, if a thing works, it works. A part of her gimmick and a part of her Dakota Kai's part of wrestling is her kicks. So, if you're disrespecting her move set, you're disrespecting her because she's always had that in her. And also, I just want to showcase some of these moves a little bit. Her corner kick, which is her running from one side of the ring to the other and kicking, it's always been one of my favorite kicks in WWE. It just looks deadly, and it just looks like Dakota Kai is actually absolutely destroying the opponent, And another move, like the scorpion kick, that is impressive. Like a lot of people can't do that. People are like, oh, that looks easy, and then they fall flat on their face because half of these people that say that move looks easy, they can't do it in real life. So, the scorpion kick is also one of my favorite moves because it's just such a unique move. And, I've ever since she debuted it, it's been a move that I've been hooked on. You got moves like this. You got the chiropractor, which is one of the sickest moves. Dakota Kai jumps on the back, hooks the opponent back, and the opponent takes the brunt of Dakota Kai's knees onto the back of their spine. It's just one of my favorite moves, and it's absolutely one of the most creative moves I've ever seen. And the chiropractor is just such a good name to go along with Dakota Kai, chiropractor. And I absolutely love this move. Dakota Kai's moveset is so underrated. I just can't I can't fathom why people hate moves like this. Like I know it's Twitter, and I know Twitter, people think that Twitter counts as, majority of the wrestling opinion, which guess what? It doesn't. Twitter is a small portion of the wrestling opinion, if I'm going to be honest with you. You've got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You got people out there in real life. You got people that don't use social media at all. You got children. You got all these wrestling opinions, and yet some people think that one social media app is going to just decide what's going to be what. So it just sucks. But, Dakota Kai is underrated, which he did in NXT, which obviously one of the accomplishments was the Dusty Cup. the women's tag team tournament, which was still one of the best ideas. And part of the reason why I loved NXT is all their great ideas like War Games and stuff. Just great ideas. And War Games wasn't NXT's idea. It's just, NXT really just perfected it, is what I'm saying. And if you guys want to look up, you guys can look it up. NXT was not the first. First War Games match just wasn't NXT. But, her and Raquel's one was great. And a lot of people say that Dakota Kai carried Raquel. And I'm not that guy to say, oh yeah, Dakota Kai carried Raquel, because I think Raquel is a sensational wrestler, and I think she deserves the success that she will. I think if she can improve her character a little bit, she's gonna deserve that success. And I think, but a lot of the times in their matches, Dakota Kai did did showcase a lot. In tag team wrestling, Dakota Kai is really goddamn good. And Raquel was often the powerhouse, and she was used in NXT a lot as a powerhouse, and she became an NXT Women's Champion. But Dakota Kai was just an all around wrestler. She was doing a lot of the huge spots in the match, and I love Raquel, and I have a very soft spot for Raquel because she was a part of one of Dakota Kai's greatest achievements, which was we don't. A lot of the Dusty Cup winners, since the tournament's not going on, a lot of the Dusty Cup winners, they're going to go down in history. So it's good that Dakota Kai was one of those. Also, some of her firsts, Dakota Kai was a part of history, including at Crown Jewel when she was the first, her and Io became the first women to win a title match in Saudi Arabia, and it was a great match. They were coming in as the underdogs against Alexa Bliss and Asuka, and they won the titles back. Dakota Kai got the pin, which also means a lot. And in front of a lot of people watching, Dakota and Io got the job done. And just again, Dakota Kai being a part of history. Io, she's on her way to make history. She got a huge ovation for the Puerto Rican crowd. Just overall, it was really, really good. And Io's getting her moment right now. The crowd is really starting to get hooked to Io. And I knew it wouldn't take long as soon as they made her a singles. I mean, Io is just such an addicting wrestler to watch. And another thing is that also the first tag team title run, which was they brought back the women's tag team titles. Aaliyah and Raquel should have never won those titles. Probably one of the worst decisions in WWE history. But then Triple H, actually, unlike Vince, he actually realizes he made the mistake and went back and fixed it. And Dakota and Io won, which created this legendary, still one of my favorite damage control photos of all time. And Dakota Kai won main roster gold. And yeah, I was pretty emotionally excited when Dakota Kai, and especially Io as well, but seeing Dakota Kai getting her main roster gold, it didn't feel real. She's been through hell and back. She was one of the most underrated people in NXT. Watching her all the way back, she was this moment. This moment was huge. It's like your favorite wrestler. It's like people like Chad Gable. They don't get respected, and then when they actually get the success, it's like, oh my god, this is actually happening. That it's sort of like that with Dakota Kai, and a big reason is that she never became NXT Women's Champion. And speaking of bad things that happened, Dakota Kai and Raquel won the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. They were the first ever champions, and they lost on the same night. That cannot happen. That is shitty booking. I don't care who is the champion. Losing on the same night after winning the titles like that in an unveiling ceremony is rubbish booking. I don't care who booked it. You have all these photos and everything, and you take the titles off of them. Like, why even do photos? Also, Dakota Kai, I mentioned that Dakota Kai also held some Stardom gold. I'm not going to announce these championship names because I'm not familiar with Stardom. I really want to be, but I watch a lot of wrestling and I'm so busy that it's basically impossible for me to get involved into another wrestling promotion right now. But, Dakota Kai really, but I did watch Stardom back then. And I watched Stardom because there's a lot of notable wrestlers that were in Stardom back then. And WWE I was really fed up with WWE at this point. WWE were making a lot of bad calls. Obviously AEW wasn't born yet, and I just couldn't get into anything of Impact Wrestling. So I decided to go watch Stardom, and one of the first people that I watched on Stardom was Dakota Kai. And for some reason, her excited attitude, her pump up attitude, the fans were hooked. I enjoyed that. And this was back when I was looking for new wrestlers to watch as well. I had my favorites like John Cena and Rey Mysterio and all that kind of stuff. But I was looking for someone new to get hooked on. And Dakota Kai, after watching her in Stardom for a couple of weeks and months, and that eventually months turned into a year, I officially hopped on the Dakota Kai bandwagon, aka EV bandwagon, no matter what you want to call it. I would still always call her Dakota Kai. I just kind of have a hook to calling her Dakota Kai. But yeah, and also Dakota Kai was involved in two Royal Rumbles. She was involved in the last one in front of a crowd, which was 2020, the Women's Royal Rumble in 2020. And she did really well in that. I popped when I saw Dakota Kai come up from the Royal Rumble. It was as loud as a pop as I've had all night. Obviously, I don't think anything will beat the Edge pop. I certainly don't think it will. And then I like to call it the Thunderdome era. Dakota Kai also appeared in the 2021 Royal Rumble, and she did really well there. So even before all of this, rehire things happened, there were several moments on the main roster which I could be proud of at Dakota Kai, but they were Royal Rumble entrances. And at the end of the day, I wanted Dakota Kai to get that call up, move on from main event matches and stuff, and she did. And she was involved in a lot of great moments. She held the tag team titles for a long time. I think Dakota and Io have the longest tag team reign easily. They held it from Crown Jewel all the way until February, I believe, if I ain't mistaken. So Dakota and Io definitely had their fair share of days as the women's tag team champions. Now we're in a position where it's like, where's Dakota Kai gonna go as a single star? Because you can tell the breakup of Damage Control is happening, so people are wondering where Dakota's gonna go from here as a single star. And all I gotta say is, you better pump that shit up because she deserves to be pushed. Her Io first, because obviously we're in the middle of that stage with Io. Bayley's had that success. Bayley's a Grand Slam champion. She's already has Hall of Fame stuff on her women's resume. It's time to give Dakota Kai in the future that push. And a part of the reason why I love Dakota Kai is her reaction. She is so relatable in the ring. It's ridiculous. Dakota Kai, Charlie's which is Charlie is her streaming name, and a name that a lot of people may know, her outside the ring personality name. The um the reactions that she gives to a lot of stuff is so like relatable, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how I'll act when I'm in the middle of it, when I'm in WWE. I'm just gonna act all silly and stuff, and I love it. It's just another reason why I love her. And it's just another reason why she's my favorite wrestler is that she acts so real. It's like it's like some wrestlers, I'm not disrespecting them, they act like total robots, and you could tell that they act like total robots. But Dakota Kai just really keeps it authentic, and Charlie keeps it authentic in the way that she when someone says something crazy or someone says they're gonna beat her, she makes like a what? And when she's a manager at ringside, she actually gives a shit. She's not standing there like she's just not standing there like staring into the action like a fan. And I absolutely love it. Another thing I like is that she's a gamer, and this is really where it exploded. It took me such a long time to realize that she's a gamer, and I've been watching her Twitch channel since the very beginning, since these early streams on Among Us. If you were a part of the Among Us era, you would know. But you know, Charlie's been really since the beginning. I've been invested, and if you guys just look up Charlie Girl on Twitch, her name should come up. Highly recommend following her. She's one of the best Twitch channels out there. She And yeah, her personality outside the ring is just so infectious. It's so relatable to so many people, and that's why. And that gives me into my next thought, and that's an inspiration. And as a gamer myself, when I was young and before I got to college and stuff, I was gaming all the time. So I know and I still love gaming. So even though I'm a much busier person, Charlie is so relatable in her gaming aspect, in her love for pets. Um, Her love for pets is so infectious. Um, and also, you know, just stuff like this. Um, and like I was saying, she has best friends as well. BRE. If you are not familiar, BRE is Dakota Kai, aka Charlie Girl, Mia Yim, who was also one of my favorite wrestlers, Shayna Baszler, who was one of my favorite wrestlers, and Jessamine Duke. She used to be in NXT, but now she is fully streaming on YouTube. Hopefully, I said that right. But my by far my favorite friends group. I mean, they no matter if any BRE content comes out, your day's automatically made. More th- More accomplishments in NXT. Dakota Kai's Crazy Kai character was also one of my favorite characters. The Crazy Kai character hit a perfect spot with Dakota Kai. That's the reason why she was already crazy to begin with in her like normal character. And when they turned her crazy, they just flipped the switch to perfection. That's what they did. They flipped the switch to perfection. And they hit on all cylinders with the Crazy Kai thing. And maybe you've seen the tweets, I don't know, but we all want the Crazy Kai character to return because that was the sweet spot with Dakota Kai's character, and also the babyface Kai, the Dakota Kai that is just so loving with the fans. Every single fan gets some love. She can play that character because outside of WWE, she's such a caring person. So really, Dakota Kai just got such a variety of stuff that she can do and nail. And you know, it doesn't really matter what she does. I think that whatever they do with Dakota Kai character wise, I think she can absolutely nail it because we've seen her nail so many things in the past. And you know, I think eventually the crowd reaction is gonna get good for her. I've got a lot of faith. I've got my fingers crossed to the absolute max here. But like I said, Dakota Kai, multiple time NXT Women's Champion, relatable outside the ring, um, really, just down to earth, great person. She's just got that perfect mindset towards life, and I mean, if you want to look up the perfect person, Dakota Kai, aka Charlie, is gonna be in there. Just and just she just brings positive vibes, and Dakota Kai's fan group will tell you. We will tell you that she just brings joy, and there's no other word to describe it, really. So with that being said, I just want to make a video about Dakota. I've been meaning to do this for a while, and this is my favorite wrestler right now. Dakota Kai is my favorite wrestler out of all the wrestlers. Outside the ring, she is one of my favorite personalities. She's just one of my favorite people. And this is an appreciation video for one of the best people to walk the grace of the earth. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video gets out to a lot of people. Feel free to tag her, and I'll see you all later.